Hey, it's Blake Backstage, 1023BlakeFM.com, and we're backstage at Denim and Diamonds with Cody Johnson, who's playing tonight. And Cody, we're excited for the show, man. I just got to see a little bit of your sound check. This is going to be a high-energy, fun show, right?
And we try to make every show a high-energy, fun show. You know, I like to love songs, but you know, people pay their money. They want to have a party. They want to have fun, and that's kind of what we built our live show around. Is just making sure that everybody had plenty of energy and it was a good party.
Well, good time for you to come through with the second week that your new song's at #1.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That was a cool kind of twist of fate. You know, I was wondering if it was going to go #1 because we picked this song actually from the fan base. We were trying to decide what we wanted to release, and we went to shows and thought, well, what song out of all of them, all night, that we haven't released already makes the crowd get into it, and that song for some reason spoke well to people, and we just kind of let them pick it. So to have it go #1 on the Texas music charts meant a lot because it was fan-based pick in the first place.
Very cool. And this is actually the third in a row for you to go to #1 on the Texas charts.
Yes, sir.
So is that setting the bar pretty high now for the next single?
You know, I try to do things in my best of my ability. You know, 110%. But we weren't necessarily just trying to get a #1. We were just trying to put out good music, and now it's kind of funny. You look back, like you say, you set your own bar. You're going, well, man, I've got a lot to compete with now. I got to kind of hold my reputation up.
Well, so what's the future hold from here? What's you got a new single coming out? Working on some new music, right?
Absolutely, and that's part of that keeping the bar set. Is now we've got to go back in. I feel an obligation, a personal obligation, to create what I feel is a better record than what we had,
which was a good album.
Well, and I think so too. I was really proud of that because Trent Willman and I got to spend some time side by side at the board and produce together and write together. And it was a really personal. It was my first attempt to try to make a really professional record. So now we've upped the ante a little bit. You know, not production wise, but just spending more time on it, making sure we have it exactly the way we want it. You know, listening to my board tapes of my live band versus the studio band, and you know, just all the little things that I didn't get to do before.
Well, when do you think we're going to be getting that new album?
I'm going back to track. I'm going to track in mid-June. I'll be putting my vocals down at the end of July. So hopefully this fall we'll have it out. Very cool.
Well, speaking of your past, you have pretty interesting background for a young guy, and you did a few things before you set your sights on music, right? I mean, you were a rodeo guy for a while, and then you worked in a prison for a while.
Yes.
How do those two things then lead to what you're doing now?
Well, I've always been accused of being really wiry and high-strung, and I guess that's what an adrenaline junkie, so to speak. And I got into riding bulls because somebody told me I couldn't, and I'm just that kind of guy, and I stuck with it. And I love everything about rodeo. And the thing about rodeo is it's just like guitar; it requires 110% of your time, all the time, to be good at it. And I knew I wasn't a world's champ. I was, you know, selling CDs that I'd recorded in the garage off the tailgate to try to make extra money whenever I'd lose money. And lo and behold, it just one thing led to another. And at one point, I was going to college, working part-time for the prison system and rodeoing and trying to play gigs, and everything in my life slowly got weeded away except for music, you know. And ironically enough, music is now leading back to me being able to get around rodeo more and get to roping and riding a little bit, you know, like I used to.
It all kind of
culminated together, yeah. But the prison thing was just, when you grow up where I grew up, it was the main source of income for counties all around it. You know, that's what people did. My dad retired there for 30 years, and I've got family that worked there, family locked up there, and if I'd only been caught. But it was a good experience. It'd make you grow up really quick, and teach you a lot of things that you can carry in your day-to-day life, for sure.
Probably added a few things for some songwriting ideas too, right?
Absolutely. That was what our last single, Guilty as Can Be, was all about.
Nice. Well, speaking of other songs that you had a song called Pray for Rain, which there's a lot of billboards and yard designs about that down here in Texarkana right now with all the, you know, we've got some rain the last few days, but with the drought we've been having. When you see things like that, are you thinking, man, this is just like promotion for me right here?
Well, that was actually what the song was written about. I was on my way home from Concan, Texas, out in West Texas. There was, you know, the Frio River out there. They actually were selling T-shirts that year that said, "I walked the Frio," because there was no water in it.
Oh yeah.
So on the way home, we were kind of just, you know, bummed there wasn't any water, and we see this sign out in front of this farmer's barn that said "Pray for Rain." That thought stuck with me, and as soon as we recorded the song and put it out, of course, we started getting emails and Facebook and Twitter posts about all the signs and billboards that said that.
Oh yeah.
But the coolest part, not so much for promotion, was the firefighters and the wildlife relief funds that they used it for, the beneficial things, and would call and can we use this? Absolutely. And it was a great honor to have that song be involved in such a detrimental time in Texas.
Well, he's playing tonight at Denim and Diamonds. It's Cody Johnson. It's 1023blakefm.com and Blake Backstage.